Coming up this week on Montclair News Lab. Police body cams, they've become very popular around the country, and now they're here at Montclair State.
It's not his word versus her word, it's what actually happened, and then they can take that video and then determine what's right and what's wrong.
The Montclair paper fire, the end of a Jersey landmark, and the loss of hundreds of jobs.
My whole life, he's worked at Montclair. So now that that's gone, it's kind of like it's a memory now.
And later, meet a family that marches to its own beat.
Definitely family is Encore. Encore is family.
From the School of Communication and Media at Montclair State University, this is Montclair News Lab. Hello, and welcome to the Montclair News Lab from the School of Communication and Media. I'm James Coffey.
And I'm Shayla Baez. Each week we scour the campus, Montclair, and New Jersey to bring you news and stories we'll be talking about all week.
Montclair State Police have started to wear body cameras. The technology has been around for a while and is now being used by many police departments and civil rights groups for protecting citizens' rights and, in some cases, defending police actions. News reporter Ashley Kuzakonki has the story.
Right, and so you see the red button here, that means that I'm live.
The camera kind of looks like a GoPro and is worn right in the middle of a police officer's chest. It's activated by pressing a button and records video and audio.
It's gonna know.
Captain Kieran Barrett says students should be glad police are wearing these cameras.
The idea is not to be Big Brother, so to speak.
This is the recording from Captain Barrett's body camera. Every officer at Montclair State is now required to wear one.
We don't want to scare people into thinking that we're recording them all the time. We also have to, make sure that we're doing the right thing, and that people understand that this is to help them when they're a victim of the crime, when they are even arrested.
Some students like the idea.
It's not his word versus her word, it's what actually happened, and then they can take that video and then determine what's right and what's wrong.
It's kind of invasion of privacy to students that, no one wants to be on camera.
I just think if there's nothing wrong, then I don't see why it can't be recorded, and especially if it can help with a future case, they can actually see what was going on.
There was an incident last year that happened at this NJ transit station in which the police response was questioned. Body cams would have helped tell the story that day. Shortly after this video went viral of two people who were arrested at gunpoint while on campus, the University Police Department was questioned for excessive use of force. They attended a Student Government Association meeting in which Chief Sell answered any questions students had about the incident, with the only evidence of what happened with this viral video. I asked Captain Barrett what he thought body cameras would have helped in this situation.
I think it would have given a different perspective, and I think that it would have helped alleviate some of the tension, some of the fear, and some of the reasoning behind what the officer was doing and why he was doing it.
While not perfect, the old saying, "the camera never lies," means this new tool will help both students and police. I'm Ashley Kuzakonki for Montclair News Lab.
There's still a lot to talk about when it comes to body cams and who it benefits. Joining us now is Elenice de Souza Oliveira, a professor of justice studies here at Montclair State. So, who do you think will benefit from the usage of body cams?
I think everybody's going to benefit with the use of body cameras, and I'm saying everybody, I'm saying like police officers as well as the citizens, because the use of body cameras increases the police accountability to the public,
right.
Increases the police compliance to the rules of law, and on the other side, increases the citizens' engagement in how to control the police. So it's
right.
another way. It's another way of increasing the checks and balances against against the misuse of the police power. So it is very important.
I think this could also be used as a good way, and correct me if I'm wrong, but do you think that police chiefs will now be using these body cams as a way to check on their officers to make sure that they're actually doing the job that they're assigned to do?
Of course. This is going to increase the supervision on the officers by the commanders, as well as it's going to help a lot the police to improve training and police practice.
Yeah.
So it's going to be wonderful. There are a lot of benefits of the use of the body cameras.
And I hear that the chiefs can actually sit in their office and at any time look into any police camera.
Yes.
As long as they're active.
Yes,
is that true?
Yes,
can they do that?
Yes, it's true. Because the police officers, based on this specifically here in Montclair University, what they're doing is that the police, are, every time that they're engaged in some and respond to some emergency calls or, calls for services, they're gonna activate the cameras.
Right.
So the commanders, they can supervise what they haven't done, and they can improve. So it's going to improve their work, you know, their performance. So it's gonna be very beneficial for both sides, for the side, for the citizen side, for the public side, as well as for the police itself.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Lenisi, for being part of the Montclair News Lab.
Yes.
And hope to see you soon.
All right, thank you. That's it.
No problem. 500 people lost their jobs when the Marco paper mill was destroyed in a fire back in January in Elmwood Park. The Marco sign was a familiar landmark for many New Jersey residents.
Elmwood Park Police and Volunteer Fire Department. Reports of a fire at Montclair Paper Products. Again, reports of a fire at Montclair.
The Marco paper mill sign in Elmwood Park has been a New Jersey landmark until the fateful day in January when the factory went up in flames. The low temperatures and extreme winds made containing the fire next to impossible for firefighters. By the time the fire was brought under control, 90% of the factory property was destroyed. The Marco paper mill was founded in 1932 by Nicholas Marcalis and was acquired by the Soundview Paper Company in 2012. Marco distributed and manufactured paper products made from recycled materials. The company had 500 employees. Jacob Perez was one of them.
I had worked for the Marco company for 22 years. The company gave me a lot of opportunities. I started to work in 1996 as an assistant machine operator. For the last 5 years, they gave me the opportunity to become a mechanic, and I'm very grateful for that.
The fire was so big that New Jersey residents were able to see the fire from Route 80. People instantly took to Twitter to express how they felt about the landmark being destroyed. Meanwhile, Jacob Perez was in the building and a few minutes into his lunch break.
I saw a few people trying to open a water valve, and they were having a hard time trying to open it. So I asked them to let me open it, and I struggled until I opened it. And I got a hose and started pouring water into the paper rolls that were on fire.
For Jacob, Marco paper was more than just a job.
It's been hard. It was my sustenance and my family's for many years, for 22 years. Many of my work colleagues were left without jobs, and I am very sorry for them, and we ask God to help them. It was hard, very hard, because you get used to working with these people. They are like a family.
Meanwhile, his actual family feels the loss. He has 2 daughters. Tanya is the oldest.
My whole life, he's worked at Marcal. So now that that's gone, it's kind of like it's now, like it's a memory now, you know, like every time you come home, you have to pass Marcal. So that's kind of like a symbol or like just like a sign that you're close to home, and now it's not there anymore.
Through it all, Tanya is philosophical.
Nobody got hurt. That's like the most amazing thing that could ever happen, because like a life cannot be replaced, but like you can always replace a job, you can always replace a building.
A local landmark is gone, along with the livelihoods of hundreds. But for Jacob Perez, he has what is most important to him, his daughter's support. For Montclair News Lab, this is Shayla Baez.
Let's take some time to check in on our friends at WMSC, the radio station here. Christian and Pat have the latest for us.
Christian! Christian, what are you doing?
I'm making a music video, Pat.
Why are you making a music video?
Because we just got funded. $5,100, all in a beautiful radio scholarship.
You spent it.
Yeah, I'm making it rain.
You're making it rain expired gift cards?
Yeah, they wouldn't actually give me the money.
Maybe because the money is for students doing excellent things in radio and not you.
Oh, I mean, yeah, but it still looks pretty cool.
Okay. So you rented a person to film you throwing expired gift cards?
No, it's my bipod.
It's a
I got it from the cage.
That's a person! His name is Aiden!
You're a person? Oh my god. In that case, get on the floor, clean up these gift cards. I made a mess. Right.
Rapper Queen Latifah plans to build a $14 million housing complex in Newark. Queen Latifah is returning to her hometown to invest in the development. Rent will start around $1,800 a month. They are expected to be open next year. Groundbreaking is scheduled for this summer.
In this age of mega businesses like Walmart and Amazon, there's still one family dedicated to family businesses. NewsLab reporter Luis Biondolillo introduces us to one family that moves to its own beat.
When you think of family businesses, you may think of this, or even this. But meet the Petrillo family. When they get together to do their business, it gets very loud. The Petrillo family business is a drum corps called Encore. A drum corps is a musical marching band that performs in competitions, parades, and other functions. And it started because family patriarch Pat Petrillo wanted to give back.
I couldn't be where I am if it wasn't for my parents, and I feel as if it's the same way now as an adult, that me and my wife want to be everything that we can for our kids.
He grew up learning to appreciate music and eventually joined his high school marching band.
That was really big and influential for me to develop teamwork and develop my skills as a drummer, but also just to meet other people and develop my social aspect.
He was in the orchestra pit for a chorus line. He even recorded at the famous Abbey Road Studios in London, which was the home of the Beatles. Tina, Pat's daughter and Montclair State student, is part of the success of Encore and has formed a special bond with her father over music.
I've never really had to work like that with my family before. I thought it was very, very interesting because we all have different ways of thinking even though we're a family, but it just showed how well we all work together.
The entire family helps out, but Tina and her father feel that they have learned a lot from each other during the experience.
She's taught me a lot about being focused and calm, but also determined.
The Petrillos agree that there is something special about the drum corps that really only comes from a family business.
Definitely family is Encore. Encore is family.
From Montclair News Lab, I'm Luis Biondolillo.
Finally today, each week Professor Tom Franklin's multimedia students at Montclair State University send us a photo of the week. This week it comes from freshman Dana Fields. The photo was taken from right here at Montclair State University. Shay, tell me she doesn't look so comfortable in her bed.
Yes, that's where I want to be for spring break. Nothing else, just laying down.
Laying in your bed. Thank you for joining us here at the Montclair News Lab. I'm James Coffey.
And I'm Shayla Baez. Follow us on social media on Twitter, MSU News Lab, Instagram at Montclair News Lab, and on Facebook at Montclair News Lab. Hi. You need to talk to me.
I know. Just take her classes.